This technique that I'm going to show you is called flashcard. I use it a lot because it activates, like I said before, the two parts of your brain. So your creative part and your logical part, and you combine it. And it's a great technique for learning things like phrasal verbs, keywords, and things that you want to use. So how do you create flashcards? First of all, what are flashcards? Flashcards is a deck of cards that you have on like a piece of paper or a piece of card that you have a word on one side or a phrase on one side and the meaning on the other side. Yeah, or you could put two things on one piece of card. So it could be a question with an answer. It could be a word with a meaning. In order for a flashcard to work appropriately and for you to remember, you need to go through all the processes, okay? You need to develop your own thoughts, understand what you've learned, and then put them in your own words, in your own notes, okay? Because absorbing information is a part of your learning, okay? The process of learning and the process of understanding information forms part of your memory. And later on, if you've understood very well what you've learned and studied, you can reproduce it much better. If you don't understand when you first learn it, you're not going to reproduce it well. Creating your own words and using your own forms increases memorability. So that's why I was talking about before. It makes you remember better. Other people's notes might miss out important things that you don't understand. So I've given you an example here. This guy is playing a video game or playing on the computer, and these are the tasks that he's supposed to do that he's not doing. If I say that I'm putting off my homework until tomorrow, it means that right now I'm doing something else that I probably shouldn't be doing, and I'm leaving the task that is important for another day. Yeah, putting off means to move it to one side and not do it. So if you create a card like this, you put your phrasal verb up there and you create an image that is relevant to you. So obviously in this case, I demonstrated that my understanding of the word put off and the way that I draw it doesn't correlate to what you understand it means. And that's what I was trying to tell you before. If you use somebody else's flashcards and somebody else's notes, you're not going to remember in the same way as if you design your own flashcards. I would use pictures and words, okay? So there's something called the picture superiority effect. Your mind is trained from when you're born to remember images and pictures much better than words. And this is an evolutionary state. Why does the brain like images? Well, because we were born animal. Writing and letters and words are created by humans. And that has only been around over maybe 200,000 years. Words are abstract. A letter is abstract. What does the letter A mean?
Hey, is this thing on? The big question is this. How are learners like us, who spend so much time studying and learning theory, learning grammar, trying how to speak, how can we communicate in English in a way that sounds more natural and allows us to get the things that we desire, that we want in less time? That is the question, and in my new Diamond course, I will give you the answers. My name is Carmen, and welcome to English Hacker. Join the Diamond course to find out more.
Words are abstract. A letter is abstract. What does the letter A mean? It's just a symbol. It doesn't represent anything. And I think that it also demonstrates how easy it could be potentially to learn a language like Chinese, because Chinese actually uses imagery when forming these letters. Okay, so technically speaking, Chinese is much easier to learn than a language based in like European language, for example, with letters. Okay, the brain recognizes pictures better than words. So what do you need to do? You can use mnemonic devices and associative imagery. So creating a connection between two pieces of information. Okay, so images, text, things like that, that combine together to produce this memory. So another phrasal verb I've used is brush up on. So if you brush up on something, it means that you improve that thing. Okay, so I've put 2 images here to demonstrate that. Okay, so remember this scene here where she slicks up her hair, okay? So she's trying to improve her hairstyle, technically speaking. She's trying to make it better by doing that, and then it becomes something crazy, okay? And in this picture here, for example, this woman is also trying to improve her hairstyle by brushing it up, okay? So these 2 images combined connects the information together. So brush up on, I mean, this image shows you brushing physically your hair so that you can remember those words, brush up, upwards. And she's got the hairdryer blowing it upwards. And improving, you could say in this picture, she's tried to improve her hairstyle in a bad way, but it's happened, right? Okay, so in order for you to make a really good flashcard, I would have put these 2 pictures together, and on the other side, use the word brush up on, yeah? So because it's a funny situation, it's memorable, and it's combined 2 pieces of things that you wanted to kind of connect together, the words itself and what it means, okay? And by doing this, you'll be able to remember it a lot better. Okay. One thing about these flashcards is that you should only put 1 piece of information per card. Okay. Potentially, it would mean that you need to put lots and lots and lots of flashcards. But the reason that you create 1 detail per card is because there's something called an illusion of competence. Your brain doesn't distinguish between recognizing and knowing. Okay, we saw this when we were studying speed reading. When you read words, you recognize them, right? Many times you read paragraphs, you read sentences, you read phrases and verbs, and you recognize the words, and you think you know that, you think you know these words, but actually you're just recognizing the words on a screen. Okay, and this is the reason, like we discussed in the speed reading class, why you can read a whole paragraph of information and not understand anything. Yeah, because you're recognizing the words, but you don't actually know those words themselves, or you don't understand how these words combine together. Okay, so basically your brain confuses recognition with remembering. Okay, so by putting only 1 detail per card, you can distinguish between whether you actually know the information or whether you recognize the information. Yeah. So once you know that you know that card and you know what it means, you can discard it.
But for example,
go on.
Sorry. For example, I think that this flashcard technique is useful for studying, for example, phrasal verbs. But I'm going to start studying biochemistry for university, and I think that it's impossible to study this subject doing flashcards. It's going to be the exam, and I won't finish doing the flashcards.
Okay, so the key difference between flashcards and actually remembering large chunks of information is that flashcards are designed to help you with bullet point information, to remember key concepts. It's not designed to help you understand concepts. Okay, so you use this technique to remember information. It's not to understand information. So that's how you use these flashcards. It's designed for a different way. Okay, so individual cards for every single fact ensures that you remember things that are specific. Okay, breaking something very complicated into something very simple. So for example, in the case of Anna, if you were studying the biochemistry and you struggled on one particular topic or one particular theme that you didn't understand, for example, some words that you need to remember within a topic that is very key, or some formulas, or some, I don't know, dates that are important, or key scientists that are very important for your particular exam, then you can use the flashcard technique for that specific thing. Okay, it's to help you piece the pieces together. Once you understand one small topic, then you can continue with the rest of your learning and then add them together. It's so that your brain pulls out information to overall remember everything. Okay, you need to use different techniques to remember everything together.